Resistance at 32 for a while now. False break. Wait, no. RSI's at 30. Tight build up. 30 to 32. No way. Holy shit. It's coming.
All right, welcome to Stock Talk Live. What's going on today? It's Rob V here with Hit the Post, and let's get going. All right, as the old saying goes.
Yeah, a lot of news came out since we were last on Thursday.
No, I know it's quite insane. I seriously can't believe about all the stuff about Credit Suisse and whatnot. It's just and obviously UBS and everything else, and
Deutsche Bank.
And it was big news on Micron Technologies and whatnot yesterday.
Huge
news. And the markets, oil's starting to take off again, which is pretty crazy. And I don't know if you saw today, the marijuana stocks were going nuts today.
Yeah, Biden pardoning people who were in there for simple possession, right?
Yeah. So that was pretty crazy. I mean, other than that, it's just...
How many people are really in prison just for marijuana possession or marijuana crimes solely?
I'm not really sure, to be honest.
I think it's a smaller number than people are making it out to be.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of surprised. I mean, a lot of the marijuana stocks went bananas today. MRMD, I think, was up that's Mary made. It was up like 40-something%, I think. Just looking at a quote right now. Yeah, it was up 38, and others were up the same amount. I mean, I don't know if him pardoning all those people is really going to make it that big of a deal, but I mean, I guess we'll see. But no, I was really surprised. I mean, obviously, I think the bank contagion right now, I mean, in Europe is probably the least. I mean, the lead story. I mean, I think Credit Suisse should probably go. I mean, I think they'll be under pretty soon, right? I mean, I don't know.
They're selling off a hotel that they own in Zurich.
Yeah, no, they are. Trying to think what else is going on. Their credit default swaps are like going bananas right now. I think they're up to like the highest since 2008. I think it was like 300 or 400 basis points, I believe.
Going bananas. Another way to put it would be parabolic.
Oh yeah, I know. It's like a straight line up, which is never. I mean, it's good for GME and other securities, but it's not good for your credit default swaps. I think they're really going to have a lot of problems. I mean, settling trades with their counterparties. I mean, they're already on the just like circling the wagons, trying to get people to what's it called? To get people to stay in business at the bank, which I know it's down. What was it? Was it up today? I didn't even get a chance to look.
I really didn't check out the market too much today, to be honest. Pretty busy at work.
Yeah, same. No, I mean, hopefully those guys figure it out. I mean, but I don't know, what are you gonna do, right?
So that news started on Friday. People on Twitter were talking about David Taylor from CNBC in particular said a credible source tells me a major international investment bank is on the brink, and then rumors started circulating about Credit Suisse, and their CEO issued a memo to the entire company, said that the bank has strong capital base and liquidity. And today, just a few days later, 6 days later, they're selling off a 184-year-old hotel, looking to make less than half $1 billion on that.
I mean, that's never a good sign when you're willing to take that big of a loss to generate liquidity. I mean, I also think they know too that, I mean, a lot of the adjustable rate mortgages they probably hold are not gonna get paid. I mean, to be honest. Yeah, and the price to book, it's never.
So our friend Boner Jams mentioned Deutsche Bank in our finance chat as well. Barclays in trouble, it seems.
Yeah.
We've been mentioning Chinese banks, how they restricted withdrawals over the last few months.
Yeah, it's not good, to say the least. I mean, it also too. I mean, I don't know if this will, if one of these goes under, I don't know if it'll spark like major contagion. But I mean, I think eventually, if one of them does go under, it might spur off a Lehman-esque moment in the markets where credit markets freeze up and whatnot. I mean, I think we could have that happen again, and whatnot.
I thought I had a clip. Let me see if I can find it.
Is it a clip on Deutsche or sorry, it's Credit Suisse?
That was well, I'll just tell you, it was Ken Griffin, or not Ken Griffin. Sorry, mixing up the bad guys here.
Yeah.
Jim Cramer was talking on CNBC, and he said that it looks like this is prime for a merger, not a bank to close.
Really?
And he said whoever gets Credit Suisse would be very lucky because it's a strong franchise. I don't know where that clip went. I'm sorry.
No, don't worry about it. I mean, I kind of strong franchise. I don't know where he's getting that from. I mean, yeah. I mean, people are worried about like getting. I mean, people are taking their money out of Credit Suisse right now. I mean, and in Europe in general. I mean, the other big news I think was the bond. I mean, was like the bond prices are starting to go down again after the whole England said they were going to backstop the do QE and backstop. You're starting to see the effect of that like start to dwindle. I mean, I think it's the 10-year today was up like I think it was up to 380 something. I mean,
I had news out of the UK today.
Yeah, it was 3.82. Yeah.
UK warned it could face 3-hour daily blackouts this winter.
Yeah. That's not good. I saw that too. It just
every day, just blocking out 3 hours. We got to turn off the lights.
Yeah, that's insane.
Turn off the heat.
Yeah, I don't really get that. I mean, I get it. They don't have the fuel for the power to power up and whatnot, but it's just not. It's no way to run anything. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to work.
Yeah. Here's that Cramer. It's not the clip, but said it's a great franchise. It's Yahoo Finance.
Yeah.
Panic is highly overblown. I don't know.
I mean, their credit default swaps are pretty ridiculous right now. I mean, I don't really know how you can say the panic's overblown. I think it's kind of ridiculous, personally. I mean,
let me switch something and see if I uploaded the clip to the wrong spot, because I thought I uploaded this.
Yeah, no doubt. No. Oh.
No, it's not in here either.
Yeah, I just don't think that they're I don't know. I mean, I don't really know who's going to pick them up. Like it really wouldn't make much sense for like the American banks to do it, and it really wouldn't make much sense for anyone else. So why,
Yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't make much sense, and like UBS is in trouble, obviously, and
yep,
their credit default swaps are going up, and I don't know. I mean, there's definitely echoes of 2008, that are happening, which is kind of depressing. But what are you gonna do?
Then I'll make the joke everybody's making. Credit Suisse, more like Debit Suisse.
Oh, I know. Yeah, everyone is making that joke. I mean, it's not good over there, to say the least. I mean,
and also with Credit Suisse, their deputy head of Asia Wealth Business resigned this week.
oh Jesus, that's not good.
I think that was Tuesday night.
That's not good at all. Jesus Christ. I mean, yeah, that might terrify some people. Especially when people are resigning and whatnot. That's never a good sign, to say the least. Oil. I'm not surprised about what happened with the oil market. I mean, I think we all knew the Saudis and the Russians were going to cut, and Biden's now. It's not good. I mean,
I think it makes the U.S. look really bad. Like begging OPEC to, like, please don't cut production. If you don't, we'll buy 200 million barrels of oil to replenish our strategic petroleum reserves. And then they just end up cutting production anyway. Fuck you guys,
Yeah, that was a rough one. I mean, they didn't make a good call on that at all. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, Russia really isn't in Russia or Saudi Arabia doesn't need us. I mean, they can just export to China, in India and whatnot. And we're sitting on billions of barrels of oil. I think it's probably time we start getting at it, because playing the geopolitical games is not exactly working out. I mean, I guess Venezuela now is going to start pumping oil, but I don't know if that gives me much confidence for energy security in the United States. I don't know. But heating oil is up to almost $4 a gallon now. I'm pretty sure it was like $3.20 something at the start of the week, but it has been on a tear. I mean, it's not much you can do about. I mean, there's not much you can do. You need to heat your home, but
yeah, that's scary stuff. Is the energy costs going up across the globe, and it's definitely coming here.
Yeah. No, there's no doubt about that. I mean, there's definitely no doubt about that.
I did find those clips that I had, so I'm loading them in now. I apologize.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
Other news, while we wait for those to process, kind of gets glossed over with all this other stuff that's going on. Elon Musk going to buy Twitter after all, it seems.
Yeah, I know. Who knew, huh? I mean, who knew?
There's a lot of right-wingers that think he's going to integrate Rumble to have a social media and search engine combo.
You never know, right? I mean, I was surprised. I was really surprised that he got back in the game. I mean, I thought that deal was as good as dead. But I mean, what do I know?
I saw speculation that he's just trying to avoid being deposed.
Yeah, that could be the truth. But I mean, this is a pretty drastic step to avoid being deposed. To take on a whole company. I mean, Twitter. Many of who have openly said if Musk buys it, they're going to leave. So I mean,
that's all right. I like Twitter.
No, I like Twitter too. Yeah. Active enough on it, active enough. But
so I got Kramer. Here's him. The clip of him saying that would be a prime time for a merger.
Okay.
I keep talking about a Lehman moment. I keep thinking you're finally going to be able to get a bank merger.
Yeah.
And whoever gets Credit Suisse is going to do quite well if you can cordon off those losses, because, boy, that is some great franchise.
It's interesting.
And there's people out there that it doesn't really exist, but they tout a inverse Kramer ETF. So whatever he's bullish on, go against it.
Yeah.
Whatever he hates, buy it, and actually has pretty decent returns.
Yeah, I just don't think that, like, you know, people are really gonna go after. People are gonna go after it. I mean, I don't know, just or be drawn to it. I mean, you want a bank that's liquid, number one, and number two. It's just like, you know, when people are, you know, supposedly leaving, it's just not. It's not really that I mean, it's not really that good. You know what I mean?
There's definitely a liquidity crisis going on.
Yeah. I mean, people aren't taking 50% losses on investment properties for the hell of it. You know what I mean? They're trying to raise capital. And it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah. On liquidity, this is a longer clip, but I think a lot of good information in it. It's actually 4 years old, if you can believe it. And they're talking about really what's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
The last couple of weeks, we've been talking about billionaire Ken Griffin. This isn't just some boogeyman guy. He actually is the head of the largest hedge fund, Citadel. This is him in 2008, and they're talking about liquidity. Ken Griffin.
What's going to happen at the European Central Bank as compared to strictly the fundamentals of the businesses or assets that we invest in? And that's been a real change over 10 years. Frankly, not one for the better.
You know, I just want to chime in on one thing Ken said, because you talked about Ken being a market maker. He's one of the largest in the world. That's a really important fundamental shift from where we were before the great financial crisis. He just talked about the amount of debt that has increased in the world. The amount of debt that has increased is 3 to 4-fold, okay? 3 to 4-fold. The groups that used to make that work, going back and forth and make markets, i.e. step in when no one else is there, were the banks. They have shrunk their holdings by law from $1.5 trillion to $1 trillion, so by a third. Okay? So when we need liquidity in the future,
comes from different places.
Yes, but guess what he is? He's not a bank. He's a fiduciary. He has a fiduciary obligation to care only about his investors and his shareholders. He doesn't have an obligation to step in and make markets for the sake of making markets. It will be a very different playbook when we go through the liquidity crunch that eventually will come.
Will it?
You know, I think this is always an interesting argument that we hear from our friends in the banking side of the industry, which is, what is the role that we're going to play in the next great market correction? And if you replay history, go to any period in a period of market price adjustment, no one buys the asset that represents the falling knife.
It's true. I mean, he's right. There's not too many people are out there playing or trying to buy assets that are, you know, have the potential to go bankrupt.
Yep.
And that's look what happened to Lehman Brothers, look what happened to AIG. I mean,
and everybody was posting those because the Lehman Brothers CEO said, you know, strong capital, strong liquidity, and they went under.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, they did. I mean, it's just, I don't think it's going to be as easy for people to, like, you know, I don't think it's going to be as easy for Credit Suisse to unload or to even, like, merge with another company, because I think a lot of people learned their lesson back in 2008. You know, and where, you know, you don't want, if you're constantly in toxic assets, I mean, people aren't going to want to touch them, you know? I think that's being ridiculous. I think that's just being truthful, you know?
I think traders aren't necessarily doing what hedge funds expect them to.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Now, I tend to believe that Business Insider are shitheads. But
Yeah.
I saw this today. Not just bad at waiting tables. They may wind up crashing the entire economy. This is servers, retail traders. What are they doing that's going to crash the entire economy? Not selling?
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's just that's
the game, man. That's exactly what happened with GameStop. Is you I'm bringing it back. I try to. You run it up to 330 plus, and then start tanking it down to 140, to, I think it even went down to $40 and then came back. But when the price tanks like that and nobody's really selling like you expect, it becomes difficult.
No, it definitely does. I mean,
Ruins the playbook.
yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I think there's a lot of people who are going to try to figure out, like, or want to figure out like what the play in the playbook is, but I don't think a lot of people know right now. And a lot of people do want to shake GameStop because they want to, what is it you said? The golden hands or something? Or the diamond hands. Yeah, diamond hands. A lot of people want those shares, and when they can't get it, they start being a little ridiculous, And hopefully this all just straightens itself out,
Yeah, let's talk about something a little more positive. You mentioned Micron early on. Big announcement, at least locally for me this week. They are going to build so what does Micron do? They make chips, conductors, right? Superconductors.
Yeah.
Which the US has incentivized companies to build facilities like this one that they're going to build in the US and not take them overseas. They ended up picking Central New York.
Oh, wow.
Syracuse. So Micron building, they're going to, over 20 years, they're going to drop $100 billion. It's going to create, I think it was 45,000 jobs to build it, and then 9,000 when it's fully done.
That's crazy.
$100 billion over 20 years.
Wow.
Because it's not all going to happen right away.
No, not at all. No.
But they ended up picking Clay, New York, as in northern Syracuse.
That's good. I mean, that's good for their economy. And Micron's a good, I know they've had earnings warnings. I know we've talked about it, but all in all, I mean, they're a company you definitely would want to come to your, local establishment, local town or city and whatnot. That's a big win for New York, to say the least.
Yes. And I was listening to local sports radio on the way home after that was announced. Was that Tuesday? Must have been Tuesday.
Yeah.
Brent Axe is on AM 1200 here in Syracuse, and he was talking about, normally talking about sports. So he tried to link it, and you think about this is going to create thousands of jobs locally, good paying jobs, and these people, they need something to do. These are people that are going to go to SU games, basketball, football. I don't know if the aquarium's going to get built here after all, but that would have been something they could do. The Inner Harbor's getting built up.
Yeah, no.
SNE USA is the mall here, very big. It's churning money into the local economy. It's good stuff.
No, it definitely is. I mean,
and on a bigger sense, that could have gone overseas, and it's staying here in the U.S. So I think that's good too.
No, absolutely. I think like that's the type of thing that you need. Like the United States needs to do is like take back a lot of the manufacturing domestically. I mean, because we're finding out through supply chain issues that we're not relying on everyone else really isn't working out too well. But no, I mean, it's like more to come. But hopefully that goes through, because I know Foxconn was supposed to come to Wisconsin, but then I think they pulled out. So hopefully this, Micron follows through in Syracuse, and it helps out their local economy and whatnot.
Yeah, it stinks that these articles are saying they're going to spend $100 billion to build this facility in northern Syracuse, New York. But I mean, this is over 20 years.
Yeah, I know. I mean, there's a little bit of like, there's a little bit of what's it called? Perspective here. I mean, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
But I mean, big enough that Governor Hochul was in town, and Chuck Schumer was in town. So they were very happy that the execs decided on Clay, New York. And I saw something that Texas was saying, some people in Texas were saying that was a bad decision. You should have come down here. I don't know why Clay, New York. They cited like the schools and I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the land is cheaper than New York City or whatnot, and obviously
Yeah.
it's cheaper than New York City. I mean, or cheaper than
Yeah.
other places. I mean, Syracuse is probably relatively safe. I mean,
Relatively.
safer than other
Northern
areas.
Syracuse, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, so
There's manufacturing up there. Anheuser-Busch has a big plant there.
yeah, so I mean, fair. So I mean, it's a nice win. I mean, I can't think of any company that's really come to Massachusetts in the past couple of years. So well, and a major one like a Micron Technologies or whatnot. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I just don't remember.
Well, there's speculation like, are they going to come here? Are they not? And I think Bristol Myers Squibb, they are here in Syracuse, but I think they're moving a lot of jobs out.
Oh, really?
And Carrier too. Carrier, number one, lost the naming rights to the Dome.
Yeah, the Carrier Dome.
Now the JMA Wireless Dome, not the Carrier Dome.
Oh, that's a disgrace. I mean, step up, Carrier.
Yeah. Well, it was like people locally just assumed that they would have that name in perpetuity, and I guess JMA Wireless stepped up and said, we'll throw you some bucks.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know. It's just wild. I mean, it's interesting times to say the least, But what do you think? I'm trying to think what else is going on. Is GME was up this week, wasn't it? Oh, well, not today. I see the red light, but it was up.
The red light today, very, very small. It's like a 1% drop today. Was green 2 days ago.
Oh, okay.
I try to remember when I come home and change the light. I think green 2 days ago. But yeah, so I named this episode I Can't Hear You. Something real weird going on with GameStop right now.
Yeah.
And we mentioned liquidity with the banks. Let me see if I can find a recent one. Because volume for GME has fallen off a cliff. Last week we were talking about all-time lows. Let's just go right to the source and get it from Superstonk.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So these guys on Superstonk, they're anything. I mean, it is. Let's call a spade a spade. It is rather culty. And they're looking to connect anything that they can to GameStop. But I mean, some of the stuff like it doesn't apply. But I mean, it's still good to know. Just in a market sense. I mean, Credit Suisse. What does that have to do with GameStop? Well, they had a large put position on it.
Yeah.
So not necessarily directly tied. Credit Suisse potentially going under. How does that affect GameStop? But yeah, we got the chart here. Today was the lowest volume in. It goes back to like 15 years or something.
Really?
Yes. There we go. So today, only one. This guy fucked up his Excel, but only one out of the last 10 days. One out of the top 10 lowest volume days has been outside of the last month.
Really?
So four of those. I'm assuming because he colored this 8 the same. I'm assuming that's a low.
Yeah.
No, he didn't mean to color this cell because that's 10-8. Oh, 21.
2021, yeah.
Yeah, so okay, so all but 2. I mean, what's going on? Like there's just no volume. But every quarter we see greater and greater numbers of directly registered shares.
Yeah.
people not only are buying more, they're not selling.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely in a holding pattern and whatnot, just and I mean, the people who are buying, have own the stock or holding it definitely. It'll be, I don't know. I mean, all right,
I talked about it last week. You introduce 3 additional shares to the market for every one that exists. You would think that volume would multiply by 4, and
yeah,
instead
no,
it's shrunk since. There's a theory out there, unproven, but I read through it, and the theory is that GameStop run-ups are trading on a 69-day cycle, roughly.
yeah, okay,
And so that 69-day cycle, we're looking for a run-up between 10.4 and 10.10. And it did run up on 10.4. After the market dropped on Monday, right? Like,
I know that's,
and then Tuesday, like, my boss came into my office and she's like, "How's the market doing?" She always asks me about, like, how's the market. She knows I pay attention.
yeah,
And she's like, "How's the market doing?" I said, "Well, everything on my watch list is green, like almost double digits green." Like, at the time, this was like 2:30 in the afternoon. GameStop was up like 9%, and then the next day dropped 6%, and it's so bizarre. Just while we're talking about it, let's check out Computer Shared. 54.86% of the float has been directly registered.
really,
So I can't remember what we said for a week ago, but it was definitely 54%. So it hasn't gone down.
yeah. I can't remember either. I mean,
I'll have to write it down. We'll write it
Write
down.
it down,
So 54.86% DRS. Today's 10.6. Yeah, and so I actually saw something about the Reddit bot that extrapolates this data.
yeah,
Because you're not going to get everybody that's directly registering their shares to go on Reddit and say how many shares that they've directly registered and prove it with a screenshot.
no, not at all.
So there's a lot of other people that are directly registering and they're not active on Reddit. There's a lot of people on Reddit that just aren't disclosing their position, or they're not contributing. Maybe they contributed some to the bot and not the rest.
Yeah,
But I mean, this is nuts that it keeps going up, and this sliver of the pie is just creeping up and up, and that's, I think, what's driving this lack of volume.
yeah,
Is there's just no, you're taking shares out of the DTCC and they're yours now. They reside with the transfer agent.
yeah.
So I mean, those shares cannot be traded anymore. It's wild. What a concept.
I know.
And I sent you that Tinfoil Tuesday. What did you think about that?
I thought it was interesting. I mean,
You want to play it?
yeah, absolutely. Let's go.
Let's play it. So I got to go back to Tuesday. Oh, I won't show you my Discord. Oh, I'm too far back. Okay, so last week we talked about the that GameStop miniseries.
Yeah,
And they mentioned Keith Gill, Roaring Kitty on Twitter and YouTube, Deep Fucking Value on Reddit, and famously had an incredibly large GameStop position. Pretty sure he has, or had at one point, 200,000 shares. Like, dude's a whale. And even when he had like 50,000 shares and he had all these call options, like he showed his position again, and you could see like he exercised some of these. Like, he sold some to have some capital in his account, but he exercised a lot of these calls. It's one call, that's 100 shares for you listeners out there that don't options that trade in batches of 100. So this is a meme that he created. The guy is sharp with his wit. Let's just make sure I'm sharing sound too. All right. And yell at me if you can't hear this, if I fucked it up.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
All right. So we want to pay attention.
Yeah,
There's several companies that are mentioned in this meme, and we'll talk about what connects them at the end. So this is from I believe Kicking and Screaming.
Cream sounds good, huh? What's that?
It's cream and it's Irish.
Hurry up and order.
Excuse me. Thank you. How about a smoothie? What's in that?
Smoothie's a juice drink. We want coffee.
Buddy, relax.
You relax. I'm a regular here. This line needs to move.
I beg your pardon. Do you have scones?
Tall, non-fat, double latte.
Sir, you're at the back of the line.
I recognize that.
Cut it out or you're out of here.
You can't kick me out.
You know what? You're really invading my ear space.
Look, I'm a frequent coffee drinker. I'm part of the club. I have a card. Do you have a card? Do you have a card?
No, I don't have
Does
a
anyone
card.
here have a card?
We don't have frequent drinker cards.
That's a video club card.
Ah! Zip it there, Sporty Spice.
Are we doing this?
Oh.
Is this happening now?
Yeah, want to
Sir,
Great. I'd
Let's
love
do
to.
it. Come on.
So what companies are mentioned in there? JetBlue,
Yep.
Apple, Blockbuster. What was the other one? Oh, Carnival.
Carnival, yeah.
And if you want to get technical, he mentioned Twitter in there as well. So what all of those companies and GameStop was mentioned as well.
Yeah.
All those companies have one thing in common, except for Blockbuster. All of them use ComputerShare as their transfer agent. Blockbuster, however, used Equiserve. Turns out ComputerShare bought out Equiserve. So all of these companies use ComputerShare as their transfer agent. So what? ComputerShare is a huge transfer agent. They represent a third of the transfer agent market. The chance of all of those companies, if you do the probability, 1/3, what is that? A permutation?
Yeah.
1/3 5 times. The chance of that happening, them all having ComputerShare as their transfer agent, is less than 1%. So I thought that was interesting. And to break down the meme a little bit further, when he shared that back last June, people thought that the hidden message was when he says, "Do you have a card? I have a card." Is GameStop going to have some kind of credit card or something like that? That was the speculation at the time. Now we're looking at it, and Will Ferrell, I'm making some inferences here. Will Ferrell being Keith Gill, Roaring Kitty, deep fucking value.
Yeah.
He's standing in line with a bunch of people who are trying to buy shares of these companies through ComputerShare. He's waiting in line. Hurry up and trade your Carnival, Apple, buy your JetBlue. I want to buy GameStop, but he's in the ComputerShare line. That's what the tinfoil is on this one. I thought it was pretty interesting.
I mean, it's a heck of a coincidence that a lot of the stocks are all computer shares, and a lot of those are getting big value. I mean, getting talked about right now. You know?
And so that's a big movement on the Super Stonk community, is buying shares directly through ComputerShare. The issue there that you run into is your buy does not, or sell does not happen instantly. So on a Robinhood, on Fidelity,
yeah,
if you got money in your account, or even if you don't, you can transfer money in, and they'll if let's say you want to buy $100, so you could get 4 shares of GameStop. They'll give you that. You can trade right away. They'll wait because the money's not going to be in there right away.
Yeah,
they'll let you buy those shares right away. Maybe they buy them, maybe they don't.
Yeah.
But if you buy on ComputerShare, they make one big purchase or several large purchases throughout the day. So your trade doesn't execute instantly. You could put it in at market open, GameStop's $24 a share. It runs up, you might end up getting it at 28 a share, something like that. So you might not get the best price. I think you can set some limitations, sell orders and stuff, buy orders. That's a downside, but those shares that you're buying will just be directly registered. You're skipping a step.
Yeah.
So otherwise your option would be buy on Fidelity or Robinhood, another broker, and then call them up or use like a chat feature and tell them I want to directly register, and then they go over. And you get a letter like this.
Yeah. Oh, it's important to directly register, you know. We've been saying it, you know. It's just so you can't your shares don't, you know, all of a sudden
mine.
yeah, exactly. So they don't end up in someone else's pocket, you know, or being, you know, sec lending or whatnot and all that good stuff, you know.
That's the big. I let a fly into my apartment when I opened the door when I came home yesterday. It's
Oh,
still here.
Jesus.
He's smart, man. I can't catch him.
You'll
But
get there. We'll all get there.
yeah. The what's cool about directly registering your shares is they can't be lent out. And I've brought this up before. If your shares are in your broker account, they're going to lend those out if they can.
No,
and that's going to drive the price down. Like, you don't want that.
No, not at all. I mean, no, trust me, you don't want
Your
that.
broker doesn't have your best interests in mind. I've seen some stuff. It's unproven, but I've seen some stuff, shady things going on about like Deutsche Bank taking a credit card payment and running it twice.
Oh yeah.
I mean, what was the one that I saw just yesterday in Supersonic? I mean, again, this is unfounded. We can't prove this, but an email went out. Here, we'll share it. I thought this was weird. We're following up with more details on Fidelity's administrative error, substantially impacting whatever retirement plan this individual was invested in. And they're working to correct the error within 72 hours. So this guy who shared this screenshot, he had another one, and he had several $100,000 in his retirement account and lost several $100,000 out of his retirement account because of this error. Yeah. What do you think they're doing with that extra liquidity? Like, hey, sorry, we just borrowed it for 72 hours. We're gonna fix it. But
no.
That sounds really shady. Again, this is unproven, so I don't know what to think about this, but I saw it, sent it to a couple of my friends.
I mean, it's definitely not what you want to see. I mean, especially if you have hundreds of thousands of dollars with a corporation. I mean, for God's sakes, like, you would obviously want some, an explanation on what happened there. It took someone.
Go ahead.
I mean, fuck yeah. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, call them. Fuck 72 hours. Fix this now. I want my money back.
No, exactly. I mean,
especially in a retirement account where there should be minimal fuckery.
No, I know. It definitely makes you wonder. I mean, what is happening here?
There's a nickname for Fidelity on Superstonk. You might be able to guess what it is.
Let me look here.
It's a lot simpler than you think. It's Fidelity.
Oh God.
FUD. We talk about fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Fidelity.
Yeah. And
they still put out information that people share on Superstonk. Like Fidelity will report buy to sell ratios for certain tickers, depending on activity. If there's enough activity to warrant displaying that. Lately, there hasn't been enough volume for GameStop to make the list, but it's usually been like an 85% plus buy to sell ratio.
It's pretty. I mean,
9 shares buying for every 1 selling.
Yeah, I mean that's.
But I mean, maybe we can do some more I'll research some dark pool stuff for next week. Oh, and shifting gears really quick. Let's talk about the dollar. Because I wanted to research the dollar for last week, and I did some more this week. There's this guy on Twitter, Peruvian Bull.
Okay.
And he put out a theory on the dollar. There's the dollar milkshake. He did a couple write-ups of due diligence. And this guy's a smart dude, a lot smarter than me. And talking about the Fed is kind of they're stuck. Like, you're trapped. Like, what do you do? The dollar's increasing in value, right? That's decreasing the value of global currencies. So the way to combat that is to print more money.
Yeah.
But that just compounds the problem
of inflation.
Yeah. So what? I think the other write-up that he did is called like Dollar Endgame. He's got a couple out there. I'll link them to you. But
yeah,
that made more sense to me. Why the dollar's going up, global currencies are going down. You've been watching treasury rates. What do you got?
Yeah, they just keep going
about the
up.
treasury rates.
Treasury rates they went to 4, and then England, did their infinite QE. Then they went down to 3.6, and now they're at 3.82, right? So, England's kind of unloaded the bazooka, and literally it doesn't matter. Because, because it doesn't matter, because basically rates are starting to go up again. So what are they going to do? What are they going to say? I mean, there's really not much they can do or say. The dollar's still going up. I mean, I don't know. It's not good, I mean, I get sick and tired of saying it's not good and whatever like that. If this was like the early mid 90s, I mean, we'd be in like a Goldilocks period. The bull market would be running and everything would be fine. But it's really not like that. It's not like that right now, unfortunately. As much as I'd love to sit here and say it is, But
can you explain a dead cat bounce to me?
Dead cat bounce is basically, say the market goes down like remember when the market went down like 2,000 points?
Yes.
And we've all remember that. It was during COVID, and the next day it was up like 400. It was up like 200 or 300, and it was the only reason why is because the market was down. It was basically the same fundamentals were in play, but people were just buying stocks because they were cheaper and trying to like average down. At least that's like kind of like my interpretation of it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like it works out like some companies, like you'll see it, and then in indices and whatnot. Like when oil was at negative $40, I mean that seems like, it seems like so long ago, but it really was only 2 years ago. When all those people who bought it at negative 40, I mean, eventually it went positive and whatnot. But
right,
like
and it seems OPEC has a floor for oil.
Yeah, I mean,
they're kind of squeezing the Fed too. Yeah,
I mean they do have a floor. I mean, I can't sit here and say like I'm not surprised. I mean, it's pretty obvious like they have a floor of like 60, 70, or $80, like in that range per barrel, and they're gonna obviously do what they want to do with it. I mean, so it's not the best, but I mean, what are you gonna do? I think what's tough is the fact that like people, especially for the winter, I don't think people are really prepared, for the shock in oil prices and whatnot, but I mean, hopefully it won't be as bad as they say, but I mean, unfortunately half the strategic SPR is like, been emptied out, and you really can't empty out the second half without major problems,
Yep. I saw Biden yesterday said he's going to release 10 million barrels from SPR. That's like 4 days worth of what our country uses.
Yeah, I don't really know.
It's my understanding we use about 2 million barrels a day.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I'm not 100% sure, but Um, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be. I mean, you're going to have to drill domestically. Like, I don't. There's no other way to put it. I know that's not going to come like easy, but like Boner Gems put out. I mean, and it was Boner Gems put out
I was
something.
just thinking that.
Yeah, the thing with like we're still at like what 81% renewables. I mean, sorry, 81% fossil fuels, and we've invested 3 point something trillion dollars, and we've only moved the needle literally 1%. Like, I mean, it's definitely like energy right now definitely dominates finance. It's not even really about like, I mean, I hate to say it when you flip on like CNBC or whatever. I mean, the first thing they're talking about is the yields in the oil markets. It's not even really about the stock moves anymore, which really is
And banks right now.
And banks, yeah. I mean, but you're not really talking about individual stocks. I mean, which is unfortunate.
Here's some more tinfoil for you. When I saw that thing from Fidelity, taking money out of that guy's allegedly taking money out of that guy's retirement account.
Yeah.
Allegedly. Allegedly. I did, and I'll say this at my job, like we have Bank of America bank accounts, and they asked the owner of the company hey, you got a line of credit that you're not using. Like, why not use that? I thought it was after learning, potentially, allegedly, brokers are taking money out of people's accounts. Deutsche allegedly charging a double credit card payment. Now we got Bank of America asking the owner of the company, hey, use this line of credit that you're not using. Seems opportune.
Oh, it's definitely opportune. I mean, there's no doubt about that. It's just
wasn't a lot.
Yeah, but still, I mean,
it was less than 50,000 we took out.
Oh wow. No, it's definitely a little opportunistic, I mean, and yes, this is definitely not financial advice, so don't.
Yeah, I was sharp with that. 52 minutes in, got that up.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, the employment numbers come out tomorrow. It's just
oh boy,
that should be interesting.
Oh, that's right, and we'll get CPI next week, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's next week. It might be it should be the following.
Should be. It's usually second.
Yeah, second week. Yeah,
second week. Like I would expect it the 12th around there.
Yeah, daily actually. I mean, I think it was daily. Or the Fed came out today and said there's going to be 125 basis points of interest rates hikes. So, it kind of blew the cat out of the bag there. But I mean, what are you going to do? I guess.
And so you mentioned cat again. To bring it back to dead cat, because this is a concept I don't really understand. I saw something from Dr. Burry on Twitter, and I don't screenshot everything that he tweets, but when he does tweet, if you're going to show it to somebody, screenshot it, because he deletes his tweets all the time.
Yeah, no, he does.
And he's kind of an asshole. He tweets like not nice things.
Oh Jesus.
But he said something about like in 2008 and with other market crashes, how the market will go down a substantial amount and then the next day rally just a little bit, and like then all the headlines say, oh, rallying. So that kind of happened this week. Like market was down, then Tuesday, huge run up, 9% for GameStop, Bed Bath & Beyond's up, AMC's up, Tesla's up. I can't think of what else is on my watch list. Ethereum is on there, Bitcoin is on there, PNE is the Boner Gems oil pick that's on there.
Yeah, what is that at now? I mean,
it trades like under $2.
Wow.
I think last I checked it was like $1.63.
Yeah, I'm just getting a quote on it now.
What else is on there?
Oh, it's $1.83 now. Jesus Christ. Wow.
Kohl's is on my watch list.
Yeah.
Ford, I think is I'm bullish on Ford right now. I saw Chevy. I think they're like several 100,000 Chevy trucks got recalled. And then I saw something negative for another car manufacturer today. I can't remember who it was. but I think that's bullish for Ford.
Yeah. No, I mean,
and Micron's going to be building more chips. So
Yeah.
that's bullish for the auto industry.
Yeah, no, it is.
Especially all these electric cars they're going to make us buy.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
We're going to need this big plant. If
Yeah.
we don't all have electric cars then.
Oh, I know. It's going to be a wild ride in the next week or two, you know. So stay with Stock Talk Live and figure, you know, we'll get you through it, you know. But
Locktober.
October, yeah.
Locktober for the gambling picks, but historically, October is a bad month for the stock market. Bad.
Yeah. Well, let's hope it's better this time, you know.
I know. I'd like to change our display names to green one day. Thursdays aren't a green day for the market.
No, they're not, unfortunately. Unfortunately. Man. What was it? Whoop. Let me get back. I don't really have much else, unfortunately. I mean, it's been a busy day. You know.
I know. I work as an accountant, but this is a small company that I'm working for, and they need somebody to know AP to be able to back it up. If our AP person, it's a one-person department that small, they need somebody to be able to handle that if they're out. So I've been an accountant for a long time professionally, but my only concern with AP is, hey, if somebody's asking about an invoice, like they're asking this charge shouldn't be on there, I want to copy the invoice right away. I don't care how it comes in, how it's filed, how it's entered.
Yeah.
But now I have to care. So I've been busy doing that.
Yeah, we had a busy day today. But I think there's only one thing left to do.
It sounds about right. Let's pump it up.
Let's pump it up.
You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know?